So 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 9 through 11. After they had eaten and drunk in Shiloh, Hannah rose. Now Eli the priest was sitting on the seat beside the doorpost of the temple of the Lord. She was deeply distressed, and prayed to the Lord, and wept bitterly. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your servant, and remember me, and not forget your servant, but will give to your servant a son, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall touch his head.
I think this is a powerful section,
It is,
too.
yeah.
Just the fact that Hannah is willing to, like, she knows where to go. She knows who to go to. She knows to ask. Like, there's such wisdom behind all of that. But then to take it and give this vow, like, as a parent, I can't imagine a worse thing than the thought of giving up your child, losing your child, or giving up your child. So it almost drives me to the point, why would you do that? Why would you be so interested in having a child, or that be such a desire just to give that child away? Like, do you guys find that odd that she would do that?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the thing that caught my eye is the wept bitterly.
Yeah.
The bitterly.
A lot of adjectives in this section.
Yeah. You know, just the picture in my mind is somebody weeping bitterly. You know, you have to be almost desperate, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she's willing to do anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, to sacrifice or to give up her, if she's blessed with a son, to give him up for, you know, service just all the days of his life. She has to be just incredibly desperate.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the first three Beatitudes. Like, she's exhibiting all three, that poor in spirit, that neediness, that desperation, the mourning, right? Just really full of grief. And then the meekness, the humility of coming before God and requesting it.
You know, it stood out to me that, kind of along the lines of what you were saying, Kirk, that Eli the priest noticed that she was not only weeping bitterly, but she was deeply distressed. Like, when, you know, he noticed that. So the thought came to my mind, like, she was obviously visually upset. Sorry, I was trying to flip to Philippians 4, 6 through 7, because you mentioned Philippians 4, 6 through 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Yes, so often I think we do try to take everything into our own hands, don't we? Instead of going to prayer and making our requests known to God and actually talking through the cries of our heart with Him. I think we try to figure it all out on our own, don't we? Why is this happening? Why am I not getting this child I want? Or, yeah.
But Hannah goes to God in prayer.
She does, yep. What a powerful lesson for us, right?
Yeah.
And are we willing? I think there's an element of, if we're seeking to do something, or there's this desire that we want, are we willing to then hand it back over to God?
Yeah.
Or do we want it just for ourselves,
Right.
you know? And she's willing to hand it back over to God. And I can see the pain, or I can understand the pain of that, of her returning this son, if she has one. And I don't similarly look at God and recognize the pain that it cost him, who also made a promise and a covenant to us that this son, you know, he would give it away for our behalf, you know? So I think there's a parallel there.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think either of you mentioned it yet, but 1 Peter 5:7, cast all our anxieties on him because he cares for us. All. Not just some. All.